When Dae-gil was still a young boy, he witnessed a strange man enter the family's restaurant and make the claim that the boy's uncle had sent him to send the family some money so they could live carefree. Dae-gil took the opportunity to invent justifications for why he should be paid more, because he was so moved by the man who tipped him for being a good lad. Given the boy's intelligence, the man gave him some extra money and noted that Dae-gil would make a good hustler. When Dae-gil expressed interest in the term, the stranger taught him the ropes. Dae-gil has been gambling ever since, starting with pogs in middle school and going on to real money in high school, and winning owing to cheating wherever possible. Even though Dae-gil is an adult and works as a delivery guy now, he still plays card games to continue his gambling. One day, Dae-gil receives an invitation to a game at Gwang-chul's house, where he meets Mina, Gwang-chul's sister, who is sick of seeing her brother spend money on an addiction, trying to ask her out. After falling in love with her right away, Dae-gil is met by Mina's screams, which convince her brother that she is being attacked, leading him to beat up Dae-gil. Dae-gil, who is on his way home, witnesses his grandfather sneaking into a casino. After the elderly man loses, he makes a commotion by claiming that everyone is cheating. Grandpa is taken to another area where the boss, known only as Ghost, and his bodyguard will beat him up for misbehaving. After saving him and dispatching the bodyguard, Dae-gil, he fights Ghost, who is carrying a knife, by sneaking up on him from behind. Dae-gil accidentally stabs Ghost during the battle, and as a result, he and his grandfather flee the scene before being apprehended. Dae-gil's mother asks him to leave for the big city, as she hands him the bag of money the uncle provided her years earlier, but she never touched and keep quiet for a time. Dae-gil agrees that this is the best course of action, but not before stopping by Mina's house to let her know that he isn't good enough for her right now, but that he will return as a better, deserving man and propose to her. When Dae-gil arrives in the city, he rents a modest, outdated flat and gets in touch with his old acquaintance Charlie, who works in a prominent gambling establishment. Charlie's task is to impersonate another player, in order to cheat against the actual attendants and then return the money to his boss, Ko-jang, who gives him a commission. Dae-gil works there as a skivvy thanks to Charlie, and he utilizes his charm and cunning to sell the customers loads of drinks and cigarettes, getting him more gratuities. He also meets the other workers at the den during his shifts, including Seo and Madame Song, who, like Charlie, pose as players in order to make everyone lose. Dae-gil also develops feelings for Ms. Wu, a stunning widow customer. Ko-jang believes Dae-gil has proven himself trustworthy and devoted enough to turn into a phony player like Charlie 5 months later. Soon, Dae-gil starts to dominate matches and establish himself as the den's top player, earning Ko-jang's affection and making Charlie envious. Dae-gil can now afford nice clothes and a luxurious apartment, so when he sees Ms. Wu sobs in the parking lot one night, because she lost once more, he extends an invitation to his home, so that he may teach her how to play better. After several hours of card games, Ms. Wu makes a move on Dae-gil, who initially attempts to think of Mina, but ultimately caves into Wu's efforts. The two of them start dating after that. Later, Ko-jang decides to make Ms. Wu their next victim to go bankrupt. The idea is to initially succeed in making her win, before striking and making her lose everything. Dae-gil informs Wu of this plan, and begs her not to return to the den, but Wu ignores him and arrives. Ms. Wu outwits the other players and prevails using the strategies Dae-gil taught her, forcing the den into bankruptcy in the process. Dae-gil needs a new source of income. A few days later, after not hearing from Wu again, so Charlie invites him to a private game with a wealthy man named Jang. However, Jang has a big surprise in store. The fourth player will be Mina, who appears to be this man's boyfriend. Charlie believes they should quit, while they're ahead and take their winnings, but Dae-gil wants to keep playing for higher payouts. When the game begins to swing in his favor, this turns out to be a mistake. When Mina diverts Dae-gil and he loses everything as a result, it comes out that Jang has been working for Ko-jang and Seo the entire time, since they discovered Dae-gil was dating Wu, and believed he had contributed to her victory, meaning they wanted retribution. Dae-gil still hasn't paid a month after the game, so Jang sends his men after him to get his kidney, as part of the payment. Dae-gil breaks his hand during the kidnapping. Dae-gil's flat and bank account are also taken by Jang, but it still isn't enough to pay off his entire debt. After Ko-jang is eventually detained by the authorities and his employees flee, Dae-gil must also remain covert. Dae-gil, who has little money, makes a living by sleeping at cafes and stealing food from other tables. One day Mina comes across him and invites him to supper. When she confesses that the game with Jang was a trap, while Dae-gil was preoccupied with Mina, Charlie and Jang, whom he had been working with all along, exchanged cards. When Dae-gil learns that his best friend has betrayed him, he becomes outraged and vows to exact retribution. But Mina cautions him against acting foolishly, because he was supposed to marry her someday, with the money Mina gave him. Dae-gil relocates to a small town and starts gambling. At more intimate gambling establishments, he is discovered cheating one night, but Mr. Go, another player, helps him out. The fact that they are both older, makes it difficult for them to recognize one another, but this man is the same one who gave Dae-gil's family the money all those years ago. Dae-gil begs Mr. Go to be his mentor because he is pleased by how he was able to rearrange Dae-gil's cards and fix his error, while using a prosthetic hand. Mr. Go only agrees, because Dae-gil makes him think of the renowned player Hands of God, who Dae-gil is unaware is his uncle. Mr. Go teaches Dae-gil sophisticated gambling strategies, and how to interpret body language. He even advises him to eat the extra card if he ever has to play nude. The two of them develop into excellent card players, and start devising complex cheating schemes that enable them to start winning frequently once more. As they advance from smaller dens to larger ones, Dae-gil chases Charlie, after spotting him in the streets one evening, and demands an explanation. Dae-gil was sold by Charlie, because he was envious of him becoming the boss's favorite, but Charlie was also duped, which is why he is now destitute. Dae-gil now questions whether the relationship he and Woo had actually existed, after learning that Seo had been working with Madame Song and Ms. Woo to bring Ko-jang down from the start. Charlie also receives some heartbreaking news. Mina has been sold as a result of Dae-gil's contact with her. Furious, Dae-gil visits the den Mina was sold to and is horrified to discover that Ghost, who is still alive and working for Jang, is in charge of it. Dae-gil will need to defeat her in a game that requires only one hand and requires the victor to stab the loser's hand. In order to save Mina, Dae-gil easily wins the game by interpreting Mina's body language, thanks to Mr. God's lessons, but instead of stabbing her, he injures his own hand, which never fully recovered from the time Jang's men shattered it. When Dae-gil and Mina attempt to depart, Ghost stops them and explains that the money she earned from playing the game is insufficient to pay off her debt. Fortunately, Mr. Go arrives and provides the remaining funds. After they return to Go's house and Mina falls asleep, Dae-gil questions whether it's possible to live a nice life solely through gaming. According to Mr. Go, he only gambled because he was addicted, but there were once 4 legendary gamblers. One of them mysteriously fell off a train, the other lost an ear, and the third, known only as Augie, is infamous for being nasty and for having chopped Go's hand. All gamblers are doomed to bad luck, which is why Hands of God. The fourth renowned player left just as he was about to win a big game, not desiring a future filled with darkness. Go believes Dae-gil needs to give up as well, if he wants a decent life with Mina. Later on, Dae-gil invites Mina to dinner and finds out what transpired. When her brother Gwang Chul used to bet with Ghost, Mina met Jang, who later developed an obsession with her. When she went to pick him up one night, as a result of Jang's scheme to get Gwang Chul involved with a gambling doctor, who put him in Ghost's debt, Mina showed there to assist her brother by working as a hustler. Mina now views herself as a filthy woman, because when she was playing, Jang's men would sneak something into her coffee, and then send her to spend the night with some of the clients. When Gwang Chul learned what had happened to her, he lost control and killed the doctor, who had played a prank on him. As a result, he was imprisoned. Dae-gil says he doesn't mind because he is also a dirty man, and wants to spend the rest of his life with her. The two of them then share their first kiss. In the meantime, Jang is enraged at Ghost and commands him to recover Mina at all costs. Ghost sends his bodyguard to pursue the group, and Dae-gil tries to fight and defeat the man, but he is too strong. Mr. Go knocks the bodyguard off a platform. After realizing there is no other option, killing both of them, Go begs Dae-gil to go and refrain from seeking retribution. Before passing away, Dae-gil doesn't pay attention, and starts formulating a strategy to bring Yang back. To find out the identities of 2 criminal pals, who are skilled setup artists, Mina pays Gwang Chul a visit in prison. They assist in making Madame Song lose everything. After which Mina poses as a gullible affluent girl for Song to take advantage of. When Song is led to believe she is secure, Mina pretends to lose at first, before winning everything back. Song is in a desperate state, so Dae-gil buys her off to arrange for them to play Seo, who Mina also defeats before giving him to Ko-jang, so he can exact revenge. With all of this cash, Dae-gil and Mina are able to upgrade their flat, and continue paying Gwang Chul's friends for their assistance. Then, Dae-gil contacts Miss Woo once more and offers her a commission, in exchange for helping him find Jang. Though Jang is able to see through Miss Woo's ruse, and does not accept her as his new player, he surmises that Dae-gil must be exploiting her. After Woo departs, Jang puts all of his money in an undiscovered abandoned structure, out of concern that he would be soon robbed by Dae-gil. But this was part of the plan all along. As they were departing, Woo touched Jang and hit a tracker that led the gang to where the money was hidden. They only take half of it, sweetening their vengeance, and then send the cops to locate the other half. When Jang runs away from an investigation into illegal gambling and officer bribery, the government places a bounty on his head. When Dae-gil meets with Woo to pay her, she becomes envious of him being with Mina, and goes to see Jang to confront him about it. When they receive a call from Jang, who has abducted Gwang Chul's pals, and is demanding his money back in exchange for their lives, Dae-gil and Mina are getting ready to leave the country. Dae-gil consents to the meeting, and as soon as the victims are handed over, The thug pulls a knife and stabs Dae-gil, but he had been anticipating shady behavior. Dae-gil sets the suitcase on fire, after tasing the thug before leaving with his pals. When Jang rushes to put out the fire, and realizes the bag was filled with counterfeit money, he and his men chase Dae-gil, starting a car pursuit around the city. Mina unfortunately never learned how to drive safely and wrecks the automobile. Dae-gil realizes Mina was pregnant but lost the child in the vehicle crash. When he sees blood between her thighs, as Jang is taking the money, Mina eventually ends up in the hospital, where Gwang-chul pays her a visit. Dae-gil had finally paid off his bail, when they started producing money again, allowing Gwang-chul to be released from jail. Before meeting with the folks, who will help Wu leave the country illegally, Jang makes sure she has paid her portion of the agreement. However, Wu also pays these guys, and they beat Jang. Wu wants to leave because she believes she has won, but these guys are actually working for Ghost, who arrives, puts her to sleep, and then leaves with the money. After leaving her on a pile of rubbish, Wu is astonished to discover Jang there when she later arrives home. Because he had also been put on a mound of rubbish rather than slain, as planned she had inquired. Ghost returns the money to the renowned Augie, who is also missing a number of fingers, and is considered the actual boss. He instantly realizes that the luggage has a tracker buried inside, and he anticipates that they will be discovered shortly. He is right. Dae-gil and Gwang-chul arrive with them, closely followed by Jang. Augie suggests a solution after a disagreement breaks out about who should kill who, and who owns the money. They play one final large game, in which they wager both their money and their heads. Everyone agrees, and Jang tries to sell Wu to raise money for the game. However, she persuades him to take her instead, because she can assist him divert Dae-gil from his task due to their shared past. Jang, who wants Dae-gil to succeed in life, gives Dae-gil his money, and a sober Mina informs Gwang-chul that she will be Dae-gil's partner because she doesn't want her brother to relapse into addiction. On the day of the game, rules are set up to prevent cheating. Everyone will play bare-chested and with just one hand, and Wu has brought the band brand new sealed decks to ensure that no one can use marked cards. The game starts off regularly, but soon strange things start to happen, and Dae-gil finds that Wu's cards can be seen through, if you know how to use your eyes. Augie acknowledges this as well and removes Wu from the game, before switching cards, up until Dae-gil is found putting his hand close to Mina's pants. The game is played regularly. Augie wagers all of his money that Dae-gil has winning cards, and Jang wagers all of his money that Mina has a card concealed in her pants, but they are both mistaken. To fool his opponents and win easily, Dae-gil had simply feigned to conceal a card. When Mina leaves with the money, Jang and Augie don't take kindly to this, and send Ghost to stop Dae-gil. However, Gwang-chul is ready and he shoots Ghost's hand off. Then, Jang shuts out the lights to surprise them and attack, but Gwang-chul kills him despite the fact that he himself sustains injuries in the fight. Wu declines Mina's offer of assistance when she comes back later. Gwang-chul suddenly raises his firearm, and demands money from Dae-gil and Mina, before driving off in their car. A few days later, the news reports that Gwang-chul had been throwing money out the window as he drove through the city, before being discovered dead in the mountains. When Mina confronts Dae-gil about what he did with the extra card during the game at home, he admits that he ate it as Go had instructed him. The letter from Gwang-chul, who admits to having just pretended to betray them to protect them, cuts off their conversation. As a result, everyone assumes they lack the funds and will leave them alone. He included a map of the location of the money in the letter, so that his beloved sister might find it and begin a new life with Dae-gil. After receiving his money back, Dae-gil discards his last deck of cards, and decides to follow the advice of the hands of God, and give up gambling in order to live a better life. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it, to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.